Hello and welcome back to the JW Thoughts channel. My name is Wally and today we are looking at a governing body update video. And I'll be honest with you, this one is a bit of a humdinger for a lot of different reasons, but we'll get into that. Quickly before we do though, don't forget to drop a like on the video. It helps it get out to more people on YouTube and yep, I very much appreciate it. And also consider subscribing if you are enjoying the content and looking forward to future videos like this. I'm trying to actually hit 40,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I decided to have a new goal, so every time someone out there that's not subscribed to just check, I would very much appreciate it because I like reaching goals. It makes me feel very happy. With all of that being said, let's do this.
In the city of Mandandalay, many brothers and sisters had fled to Mandalay because of war in various parts of the country. Sadly, a married couple serving as missionaries in Mandalay died when the apartment building they were living in collapsed. We can only imagine the pain and grief felt by their family members and the many brothers and sisters who loved them dearly. We continue to pray that Jehovah gives these ones the strength and comfort they need at this time. Another missionary couple living in that same building survived, but sustained serious injuries. They have received emergency medical care, and thankfully, they are expected to make a full recovery.
So right away, I want to just talk about something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, and that is how insane it is that Jehovah's Witnesses are constantly being told that they will be protected. Here we have an instance of two missionaries in their assignment that are killed in this natural disaster. And you have to remember, and he even brings it up, that, hey, our hearts go out to the friends and family of these people. So these are people's children. Jehovah's Witness parents are looking at this and going, oh, wait, I thought they would be protected in Jehovah's service. Where would they get that idea? Is that something that they've just come up with on their own? Absolutely not. There is a music video that addresses this very specifically. So I don't want to get a copyright claim, but I'll play some of the footage here because all of these videos got copyright claimed and it was a real hassle and an annoyance, and that's why it didn't upload. Anyway, it doesn't much matter. I'll just put it on screen just so you can see, but the context is these people have a daughter. They are raising her to be a good little Jehovah's Witness, and off she goes to her assignment as a missionary. And the lyrics that they play during this are as follows. It's hard letting go, yet in my heart I know the safest place that she can be is in your loving hands for now and all eternity.
The safest place that she can be.
So, the organization wrote this song. They produced it, they made a music video, something catchy, so people could remember. An anthem that they could sing to themselves as they were shipping their children off to go and do free work for Watchtower. What did the organization tell them? In my heart, I know the safest place she can be is in your loving hands for now. For now. And all eternity. They are the ones that put this division. We're not just talking about, oh, well, her eternal future is going to be secure in Jehovah's loving hands. The organization, Watchtower, the governing body, they are not telling people, oh, no, you're just going to be protected off into the distant future. They're saying for now and all eternity. So now you have a situation where Jehovah's Witness parents send their kids off to go do the missionary lifestyle. They're sending them money, they're FaceTiming them when they can, they're sending them postcards, and they think, oh, what a wonderful blessing. Oh, it's so wonderful not having to worry about the safety of our dear precious child. Oh my goodness, imagine having to worry about that. And then they get this horrible news. Where was this promise? Where was this thing that is constantly repeated that you will be protected in Jehovah's service, if you're a pioneer, if you're doing all that you can. It's literally baked into an anthem for Jehovah's Witness parents as a model for them to follow. I find this completely disgusting. If you want a longer breakdown of this point, I made a long form deep dive video about this. This is what the thumbnail looks like. I'll put a link in the description below. But I personally think it's one of the best videos I've ever made. Unfortunately, it didn't do very well in the old YouTube algorithm. But please, if you haven't had a chance, go check that one out because it goes a little bit deeper into this very concept. But I just wanted to take a second to at least talk about it here. This is Testimonial 1 for Eugene Gaines. Action.
Does that mean go? I was having a lot of financial difficulties until I became a subscriber of the JW Thoughts channel. He gave me some great advice and told me to put my penis size on my Tinder profile. See, the problem was I was having financial difficulties and spending thousands on dates, but by the grace of Voltron, I haven't been on a date in weeks. You too should subscribe to the JW Thoughts channel, and you'll save some money, like me. With all of those savings, who knows, maybe I can buy some Tinder Gold.
In South America and in Southern and Eastern Africa, some of our brothers and sisters are suffering from famine. To address these needs, we are providing food relief to over 8,000 brothers and sisters in 6 countries. We sincerely thank you for your generous contributions that make this relief work possible.
I don't know about you, but I'll call a win a win. If we believe him and take him at his word, and it is true that Jehovah's Witnesses as an organization, not through government grants, not through just shipping the food, but actually purchasing, shipping, and distributing food to 8,000 people that are going through a very difficult time, even though it's just Jehovah's Witnesses and not for the larger community. I know there's problems with it still, but if it is true what he's saying, that the organization is actually stepping up and doing something for Jehovah's Witnesses, I'll dap you up there, Mark. Not for long, because you're going to say some wild stuff here in a minute. But for this very specific reason, I think that the organization should, like, you finally reached the floor. You finally, maybe the light has turned on in your little noggin, and you've decided, you know what? Maybe we should do the bare minimum with our tax-exempt status that we have around the world. Well, not everywhere around the world, but mostly around the world. Maybe we should do the bare minimum and at least provide some food. So if this is true, I guess he doesn't give us any like receipts or anything, but we'll just take him at his word. Or I'll just take him at his word. You can do whatever you want with your time. I think that this is kind of a win, and I hope that the organization continues to do things like this, where they are not the ones that are directly benefiting from the charity. It's always been my suspicion that whenever the organization is charitable, they're doing it for themselves, essentially. But you're not going to see any return on investment if you are purchasing and distributing food to people. That's just going to become poop one day. So it's a little bit like Watchtower doctrine. It gets consumed for a while and then it ultimately turns to poop. With that terrible illustration out of the way, let's move on to the next section. I can't believe I just said illustration again. It's a metaphor. I think it was one of the funniest things. I was talking about weird Jehovah's Witness linguistic anomalies that exist out there in the wild. And I used a metaphor and I called it an illustration, which is exactly a typical Jehovah's Witness thing to do. They call everything an illustration, even when it's a metaphor. And a bunch of people pointed this out and I was like, yep. You guys got me on that one. I am still an indoctrinated Jehovah's Witness because I can't get the difference between the two. And there I just did it again. We're so cooked. We are so cooked.
Here's another recent development. In March 2025, the governing body invited branch committee members 80 years of age or older to consider their circumstances. As a result, Some of these dear brothers have made a personal decision that they will no longer serve as branch committee members. Let's hear from a few.
Brother, I'm going to give you some free PR advice, so get a Q-tip out and unclog your ears. No one believes you. No one believes you when you talk this way. We invited these brothers, so you called them to a meeting, all right? And we asked them to review their personal circumstances. So you told them that they were getting old and couldn't do it anymore. And then they made a personal choice. So you fired them. It doesn't matter the words that you're saying. We all understand the power structure here. What would happen? They didn't have an option to refuse. It's like cake or death. Well, I guess I'll have cake. I guess I would rather maintain some dignity. What would someone do? No, I can still handle it. Don't worry. I'm good to go. Okay, perfect. A guy like this, just hearing him talk this way, I know damn sure that what he's going to do is give that person that wants to stay, that's 80 years old, an unreasonably large workload to where they crash out and actually can't do it anymore. And they'll be like, hey, look, see, I guess we were right when we were reviewing your circumstances, so maybe it's time to step down. I can almost guarantee that would happen if someone chooses to stay. Like, no one is being invited to these meetings and making a personal choice. They got canned, they got fired. And I think that this is a really fascinating shift because as we kind of track all of the different changes, 2023, I think we've made videos about that before, where it is like the biggest year of changes and things moving and shifting within the organization. And with all of that, it's inevitable that you are going to need a new ruling class, a new group of fresh faces to carry on with this next version of what the organization is going to become. And so they have to get rid of the old guys. They're standing in the way. If you are 80 years old, you have intimate memory of all of the problems, of all of the failures of the organization. And maybe we don't need that anymore because we're trying to move things in a different direction now, and we don't need some old fart holding us back from doing that. So let's hear these guys say it from their own mouths. I can almost guarantee you that this is just going to be a bootlicking of the governing body exercise, but hey, maybe I'll be wrong.
So this was a way for the governing body to help us to just accept the reality of old age and the consequences.
That Jehovah's guidance through the faithful slave brings joy and contentment.
This is the answer to a prayer. We cannot keep up. Let somebody else, younger, stronger, do the job, and they're doing it.
It makes me very happy to see younger brothers now on our branch committee, and they're doing a great job. And I know allowing for other younger brothers to come in, it's going to help the organization.
It has helped me to appreciate, do what you can, not what you can't do. And love it, follow Jehovah's direction, you'll always be happy.
I don't know about you, but that felt like a hostage situation. I feel like we needed some type of code word, like, hey, say avocado if you're in trouble. If you're being forced to say this, just slip in the word avocado so we can send some help your way. Hey, we're going to do your little exit interview, and we need to make sure that you are kissing the butt of the governing body and the faithful slave. And don't forget to tell them that this is an answer to your prayers and just how happy you are with this. Now, it is true, like it is completely plausible that some people would be happy with this, but I doubt everyone would be, because if you know Jehovah's Witness culture, like I know Jehovah's Witness culture, there is a reverence for position. It's everything. It's all about image. The most important thing to any Jehovah's Witness is their image and status within the organization. No matter how old you are, no matter how young you are always being told, how can you do a little bit more? How can you move up the spiritual corporate ladder? It is everything to them. And so when someone has risen to the position of being a branch committee member, that's just one step away from being a governing body member. than to have that taken away. As a way to think about this, if you are a Jehovah's Witness, you no doubt remember how there would be an older brother who was the coordinator of body of elders. Before that, it was the presiding overseer. Those guys would hold on to that position until they could barely even walk, and sometimes after that. And my grandpa is a perfect example. Well into his 80s, as the organization is shifting and doing all the internet stuff, and he could barely keep up. But he held on to that position of presiding overseer and then coordinator of the body of elders. They don't want to let go because it is everything to them. It is their identity. It's their status. It's who they are. And so to have someone just come and take it away, hey, we need you to review your personal circumstances and then do an exit interview. There's definitely doesn't sound like there's a gun to their head or anything. Make sure you talk about the governing body and how great we are, and also how loving of an arrangement this really is for you.
The governing body deeply loves and respects these dear brothers. If their circumstances permit, they will continue to share in teaching assignments such as conducting morning worship, serving as branch representatives at circuit assemblies, and in giving talks at regional conventions. In that way, our brothers and sisters will continue to benefit from their many years of faithful service.
Something that just occurred to me as I was listening to the Mr. Goatee Man here, none of them had any facial hair. A little bit curious. I wonder if that was a sticking point for some of them. I wonder if some of them were the holdouts. Like, oh, are we really sure about this, brothers? Is this really the direction we want to take the organization? I'm just putting on the old tinfoil hat here, but just a little bit interesting. Could be a generational thing as well. But anyway, let's move right along. Now, this next section isn't terribly interesting. He's talking about conventions. He's the international convention, or they're called special conventions now. I gotta get up to speed with the normal JW nomenclature these days. Anyway, so he's talking about that, and then he goes and talks about how they have a $21 million program that's being rolled out to provide sound equipment and video equipment for conventions in Africa. Yippee, yeehaw, I guess. Cool. They can see videos as well. So that's pretty exciting stuff. And then he's going to go and talk about how during the summer time, the convention season, however they put it, there's going to be more and more opportunities for people to expand their ministry. All pretty tedious and boring stuff. But while they're doing that, they always have to do the plug of getting new, young, fresh faces in order to do free work for Watchtower.
Some of you young ones are finishing school in the coming months. If so, have you prayerfully considered the goal of regular pioneering? The new service year is just a few months away. Why not consider putting in your application? There are also opportunities to volunteer for Kingdom Hall maintenance and construction. Could you apply to share in this work? And remember that baptized brothers and sisters 18 years of age and older may now apply for Bethel. That's another wonderful way to serve Jehovah. This is also an excellent time to think about attending the School for Kingdom Evangelizers. Recently, the governing body encouraged young ones to consider the goal of missionary service. SKE is the door to missionary service. Have you put in your application for SKE?
The audacity of this man to open up with a story about missionaries that are killed in their assignment and then encourage people, hey, why don't you want to become a missionary? Why don't you want to enter these avenues of full-time service? If you're a Jehovah's Witness parent and an organization that's telling you that, they're going to be safe, it'll be the safest place that they can be, and yet you hear a story like this, aren't you going to think twice about that? And if you're not, You might need to get your head examined, try some meditation, maybe ease off of the coffee or booze or something. Just kind of clear your head so you can really think through this in a very logical way. Now, in order to finish this thing off, he has to give our favorite post-COVID reminder of all time.
Of course, we are also making plans to attend a convention in person, if at all possible. Even if we have limited health or strength, could we attend in person one day or even a half day of the convention? Doing so would allow us the joy of praying together, singing together, and being with our dear brothers and sisters in person.
Post-lockdown Jehovah's Witness culture is very fascinating, and it no doubt irritates the governing body because we hear them roll this wheelbarrow of nonsense out all the time. In person, in person, in person, in person. I made an entire video or so, like a whole 5-minute segment of them just saying in person. It is absolutely wild how much they're stressing this, and if they're stressing it that much, you know damn well that it's because it's a very big problem for the organization. No one wants to go back to meetings, and why would they? They've learned to be a good Jehovah's Witness at home. Why not just do it from the convenience of your couch? Anyway, that's about all I got for you, so thank you so much. If you're still around, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. With all that being said, stay safe, be kind, and don't forget to spend more time loving the things you love than hating the things you hate. And hey, go out and have a good-ass day.